Hi everybody, it's Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy, and I just am feeling compelled to check in with this energy today. I know that I did an energy update on Tuesday, but this is a lot of energy that we have going on, and I'm getting so many messages from people, so I like to check in a little bit more when the energy is more intense and when I'm noticing that people are having challenges. I know I've had my own challenges this week, just particularly today. This Mercury retrograde has been already off to an interesting start. And already I see that my video is now recording saying that I have a low network connection. So again, we're just having some issues with technologies, things like that. So Mercury retrograde, what is that for those of you that don't know? This is when Mercury, the planet Mercury, is going backwards, and it is what can happen with the astrology of this is that we can find that this can be a really challenging energetic time, and a lot of people freak out during Mercury retrograde because it's a lot to there's a lot of activities that come up, a lot of drama that can come up, a lot of challenges that can come up during this time. So we just want to take time, take space, allow ourselves to balance. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what to do during this Mercury retrograde, which is going on all the way almost to the end of March, and what not to do during this Mercury retrograde, because we want to just I want to focus more on what to do, because I like to focus on bringing the energy and focusing that energy in a positive way, because I think one of the mistakes that we can make is to get into this idea of, oh, Mercury retrograde is really challenging and it's going to be a really tough time. And when we get in that mindset, we are manifesting even more things. Yes, absolutely, it can be a challenging time, but I think when you just have a sense of how to best navigate it, it can be a little bit more of a less challenging time, or a more we can feel a little bit more empowered during this time, I guess is what I want to say. So I'm going to talk about what to do and what not to do. And the very first thing is we want to make sure that we're tapping into that creative mind, or that intuitive mind, that part of the brain that allows us to connect to our intuition. We want to make sure that we are inviting that in, that we are trying to tune into ourselves, to listen to that quiet little voice within. We have our intuition, and then we have our logical brain. And our logical brain can be very loud, and it can be very loud with our fears, and so we can constantly have that inner critic going when our logical brain is working. We can be very fear-based or fearful. We can have difficulty with things that are showing up. We can jump to conclusions about things that aren't necessarily the reality of what's going on, because we're focusing on that fear-based part of the brain, which exists within the logical part of the brain. And I'm not saying that there's not benefit to the logical brain. We really want to find a very nice balance between the intuitive mind and the logical mind. But here during this time, listening to your intuition is going to be particularly key, because your intuition is always trying to show you the way. And so we are wanting to make decisions that are based on our intuition. And you might find yourself making some choices that seem to go against that logical mind, and particularly those fear-based thoughts. We want to work on releasing those and taking steps in the direction of our intuition. Hi Billy, thanks for watching. Yeah, make sure you guys say hi if you're watching. I love to hear that you guys are watching. I love to hear where you're watching from, because it's fun to see people from all over the world watching and tuning in and sharing where they're watching from, and to see all my local friends who are watching. So make sure you say hi, make sure you say where you're watching from. But again, coming back to this concept of really letting yourself tune into that intuition. And this is such a period of reflection. We want to take time to reflect. We want to meditate a little bit more, spend a little bit more time in our own energies, and this will allow us to tune in and tap into that intuitive mind. Everybody has an intuitive mind. Everybody has the ability to tap into their intuition. We all experience it a little bit differently, but we all have that ability. So you want to make sure that you are inviting that and allowing that. Hi Curtis, thanks for watching. Hi Joy. Joy's right next door in the room next door to me. She can probably hear it through the walls a little bit. So I think that we want to allow this energy to just let us explore things, to let us look at things from different perspectives. It'll help us to look at different things from different angles and help us to understand what it is that we want and what it is that we need, and it just gives us different perspectives on things through the things that show up for us. And so a lot of times those are kind of stressful things or emotionally upsetting things and things like that, but it really forces us to take a step back and look at situations from different perspectives and have a different understanding of things. Hi Eric, thanks for watching. So we want to also allow ourselves, expect the unexpected during this time. A lot of unexpected things will happen. And so we really need to be allowing ourselves to flow with what's showing up for us, to be a little bit more flexible. Now I'm a planner. I like to have a plan. I like to have a sense of that. So sometimes that's a little bit harder for me. But I know as I've worked through this past year on really learning to flow more with things and to just let myself flow more with things, I find that retrograde is a little bit less uncomfortable for me because I am flexible. I am able to respond in a moment that maybe plans are going to be different or situations are going to be different, or that something could be one way in the morning and a totally different way on the other side of the day. So we want to make sure that we're allowing that flexibility, even just with logistical things, flexibility in your schedule. If you have to go to an appointment or something, give yourself a little bit of extra time, because we can have issues with vehicles and travel. We can have issues with technology. So if you have, to print off a term paper that's due tomorrow, I would print it out today. Plan ahead, get these things done in advance, because we can tend to have issues with technology and travel and all of those things. Plan, if you are traveling somewhere, understand that there might be delays or that there might be issues, and plan accordingly. Give yourself a little bit of a cushion related to that, so that you're not overwhelmed, so that you're not stressed, so that it doesn't feel like such a Mercury retrograde energy. And if during this time period changes are happening, even if you don't love it, even if that it feels uncomfortable, let it happen. Let the changes happen. Let the changes occur. Allow yourself to flow with those, because we really need to trust that God, our guides, our angels are looking out for our best interest. And any changes that are happening are really for our highest and best good, even if we don't see that right now in this moment. So allowing ourselves to trust in that a little bit, to not try to white knuckle our way onto holding on to things and holding on to these things that are just ultimately going to hold us back. So if something's trying to be released, let that be released, and trust that it will come back if it's meant to be a part of your life, whether it's an opportunity, whether it's a relationship, whatever that is. Just trusting in that. And Eric says planning ahead is a key to a productive life. I absolutely agree. And especially during this time period, I think that it's going to be extra important. So again, make sure you guys say hi. Make sure you say where you're watching from. I love to hear from you guys. And by the way, if this is connecting for you, if this is something that you think would connect with the people that you know, make sure that you're tagging people in the video below, or that you're sharing this. Hi Sophia, thanks for watching. And so I talked a little bit about this, but we want to make sure that we're taking that quiet time away, that we are just allowing ourselves to have that, and to honor our own time and our own space and being in our own energy. So many of us get so busy that we don't take that time. And some of us are just really built to need more alone time, to need more time in our own energy field. So you just want to make sure that you're honoring those needs that you're having. And if you're needing a little bit extra, take a little bit extra. Get a little bit of extra rest during this time period. I've been so tired through this energy, and I know so many of you guys have. Go to bed earlier, sleep in a little bit longer if you can. Don't maybe push the body as hard as you might during regular energetic times. Listen to your body. If it feels okay to push yourself, absolutely push yourself, but listen to the body and allow yourself to just do what you need to do to take the best care of yourself that you possibly can. But you also don't want to become a hermit, right? And totally just pull away from everything and everyone and let this energy sort of sweep you away and isolate you, because that's not what we want either. We really want to balance, and we really want to allow ourselves to be around those important people in our life too. And speaking of people, communication is going to be a little bit challenged, or a lot challenged during this time period. So hi Andy, thanks for watching. So communication is a tough one during this. So you want to just make sure that you're trying to be as clear as possible, but not getting too frustrated if people aren't quite getting it or aren't quite understanding what you're saying, because, you know, like it's just like we're not processing things as we normally would, and we're stressed out, and we're just not hearing each other as nicely as we normally would. So just letting yourself through this time period, be patient with communication, be a little bit kinder, be a little bit more understanding with each other, being a little bit more loving with each other. And I talked in my video the other day about just like the power of listening too. You know, I think we're so quick to jump in with advice. This is not a time to give advice unless you are invited to do so. This is a time to just kind of listen and give your support to the people in your life when they're having their own situations that are challenging for them. Support them, listen, honor them, and if you're invited to give advice, give advice. But I think sometimes there's more power just in that listening, and just in, you know, reflecting back what it is that you're understanding that they're saying, and encouraging them to listen to their own intuition to help guide their process. Because at the end of the day, there is no person who can tell you the answer better than you. Well, it doesn't matter if they're, you know, if they do psychic readings like me, it doesn't matter if they are highly intuitive people, your intuition is always going to be best, and it's always going to guide the way. In terms of things not to do, you know, I think starting arguments, you know, you're not going to want to go in and talk about a hot button topic if you can avoid it right now, just because the communication will be more challenged during this time. And if you do need to do that, making sure that you're very aware of trying to use some good communication with that listening skills, listening for the purpose of understanding versus listening for the purpose of arguing. Those are two really, really different things, and making extra efforts to understand each other a little bit better during this time. We also want to make sure that, if possible, being really mindful about starting new things. Destiny says, yes, you are the medicine. Absolutely. You have all the tools within you to accomplish and achieve anything that it is that you are meant to achieve. And so understanding that that's all within, and we just need to tap into that. But you know, understanding that maybe this is not the best time to sign a contract, to start something new, to whether it's a relationship, whether it's you know, a job, an opportunity. And, you know, some of you guys are going to be starting this stuff during this time, and that's okay. I think ultimately your intuition is going to trump that. And so if you are intuitively feeling like this is the day that I need to make this change, or that I need to start this thing or do this thing, then I think that you should do it. But also being aware that there may be better times to start something, especially if it's going to be something big. You know, if you have a big project, or you are starting a new contract, or whatever that is, if that can wait until toward the end of the month, that's going to be a better time for you to do that. So just thinking about all of those new things and all of that. And then, you know, not depending too much on technology or things going well, you know, kind of understanding, having a backup plan, understanding that you might need to have that flexibility during this time. So those are my tips for getting through this retrograde. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, I'm going to be making a lot more videos, and that is going to be the place where all of the videos are going to be posted. I'll also be doing live videos on Facebook, but that's going to be one of the best places. If you can subscribe to that, you will get notifications for all of the videos that I'm making. So make sure that you do that, and I will leave a link below. But if you just go into YouTube and you search for Christy Waters Forsyth, you can find that. If you want to check out my website and learn more about me, you can check it out at discoveryourawakening.com. I will see you guys soon with another video. Take care, guys.